Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a great day today. Today's lesson is going to cover independence and one of my favorite exercises to work on independence. And so first things first, what is independence on the drums? If you're not familiar with it, it's basically the coordination it takes to play the drums and the control that it takes to play various beats and fills. That's what's hard about drumming at first when you're a brand new drummer. It's hard to have your right hand doing a certain rhythm while your right foot might do something different, and you get a lot of things where your right hand might want to copy what your right foot's doing and things like that. And so this is a way to basically break out of that and start to build some of this core kind of coordination that we need to be able to play the beats that we want to play. And so there's different ways to work on independence, but I'm going to show you one today that's one of my favorite ones, and it's more of like playing a drum beat but in 4 different ways. And the cool thing about this one is I think you could use this for your entire life, really, because you can just adjust it to your skill level. So I'll show you a simplified version where you might want to start with it, and then maybe we'll do one other version of it with a beat that's maybe just a little bit more challenging. But you could do this with any drum beat, and the more difficult the drum beat, the more difficult this will be. And so the way it's going to work is we're going to play the same drum beat 4 ways, and the 4 ways would be closed-handed. So if you're a right-handed drummer, it's going to basically just be like your normal way of playing, kick, snare, hi-hat. Or if you're on the ride, but right hand will be playing the ride or hi-hat, left hand snare. And so you'd play the beat that way for when I show it to you here in a second, I'll do 4 measures of each one, beat. So it'd be 4 measures like this, and then 4 measures with the open-handed, which now is kind of like almost lefty if you're a righty. And so my left hand's playing the hi-hat, right hand snare. And then the third way would be just left hand, and then the fourth would be just right hand, playing between the snare and hi-hat. And you don't have to go in any specific order with this. It could really be in any order. As long as you hit all 4 of these, that's sort of the goal. And before I even start this, I should say that I would work on each one separately. If you're new to this, I would just take your time. You'll probably start with a beat that's comfortable in sort of your home position, so to speak, closed-handed. And if you're comfortable playing the beat there, then try it open-handed, see how that goes, see if you can get that going on. Then try just the left, just the right. And once you feel like you got each one of those 4 to where you're fairly consistent with them, then that's kind of step 2 would be to be able to play all 4 in succession. So you can just do one right into the next and just do your best to keep each one sounding, as close to the same as you can. So let's get into it. I'm going to put the metronome on here, and I'm just going to do it first with like a 8th note rock beat and show you how this kind of works. So here we go, just a second here. All right, so that was it with an 8th note rock beat, and hopefully you get the idea of how this works now. It really just helps you balance out your limbs. It makes it so your dominant side doesn't just like get way better, while your weaker side sort of lags behind. This is a great way to help balance yourself out on the drums a little bit, and it lends itself to a lot of other things as well. But I'll show you one more example real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this at the end. So this will be the same thing with just a different beat. This one's going to be a linear drum beat that I like to play sometimes. So here we go. right, so there it is with a couple different beat examples for you, and hopefully you get the idea of how this works. Like I said, you can do it with any drum beat, and yeah, besides increasing your control and coordination and all that good stuff, it also lends itself to opening up the doors for maybe some harder, more complex beats that you may want to play down the road. And it could be, for example, like if I was playing this. I could play that that's kind of my standard way to play that if you're a right-handed drummer. That's how most right-handed drummers are probably going to play, just a basic eighth note rock beat. But all of a sudden, if I can play that beat like this, with just my left hand, now all of a sudden my right hand is free to do something over the top of that, whether it might be a ride pattern, cowbell pattern, some kind of tom pattern. Whatever I want to do, I can embellish on that and make it a little more interesting. And one thing to point out too that I didn't mention earlier is obviously when we play some of these beats with the one hand, we are essentially skipping a hi-hat hit each time we hit the snare. It's about as close as we can get, and I think it still works out great to just get better at these skills. So it's like 99% the same when we do with the one hand for any of those beats where you're hitting two hands together. If you're doing a linear beat, then it doesn't matter, like that second one that I did. But back to this real quick. So this is how that would maybe work out. I might play that beat like this. Just a real quick example, you can do anything you want. So the whole goal is to basically increase your control on the drums, your coordination, and hopefully that will help you increase your confidence at being able to play these beats more consistently, and just make you a better overall drummer and feel like you're more in control and be able to play more of the ideas you have in your head. So best of luck with it, and I'll see you next time. Take care.